Hello and welcome back to Sovereign RPG. I am Sovereign and today we are back in New World for its delay. And we're going to talk a little bit about that, why they did it, why it's the best idea to do it, and discuss some other games that really screwed the pooch by actually releasing their game before they actually should have. There's a general consensus in gaming right now where a lot of gamers like, I want this game now. I want to play it now. I don't care how broken it is and blah, blah, blah. Well, they're not exactly saying I don't care how broken it is, but in their heads, they're just like, I want this game. I want to play it now. And that's it. They're not even thinking about like the fact that how screwed up the game was on launch, how screwed up it was in the whole entire beta with all of the server issues and all of the random animation issues, the slow combat, the lag between hits and rolls, etc. There was an absolute myriad of bugs through the entire beta. And the fact that they've actually decided to delay the release of the game is a massive boost to my confidence in the New World team. Now let me tell you why that is a boost of confidence, because every company right now is just pushing out a game because players, it's our fault. Players don't give a shit. They just want what they want and they want it now. It's not like it was back in the day where we would be happy to wait for 5, 6, 7 years for a game to release. And then we'd have the patience for the game to release as bare bones, but clean. I mean, 99% of MMOs have always had those issues where it comes to like lag and server performance and server outages and shit. That's just a normal thing. That's happened since day dot. Happened since the beginning of MMOs. I don't know a single MMO that has come out that hasn't had issues on release day. And even with the delay to New World, there likely still will be some server issues. There's going to be a lot of people trying to get into the game. A lot of people have now seen the game. Just because like you had over 1 million people jumping into New World on the beta doesn't mean that's going to be the amount of people that are going to be playing. A lot of people didn't want to play the beta. Like myself, I wasn't even going to play the beta because I didn't want to burn myself out in the game. I was going to wait until the game actually released itself. But I had to get in there. I had to get some testing done. I had to find out what I wanted to do on release, and then I had to find out what I wanted to do with the company, etc. Speaking of companies, we do have a company set up called Immortalis. If you'd like to join us over on the Discord, I can give you roles to that group. We're getting everything set up, what we're going to be doing on release, what sort of direction we're going to be going in, everything that's going to be sort of theory crafted in and out of the actual game itself. We're doing that all in the Discord, so make sure to join up if you would like to join us. So anyway, about it being the player's fault as to why games are so shockingly shittily released, usually, especially in MMO genre, is because people are too impatient to wait for anything. The fact that the New World team have actually said, look, we're going to delay it a little bit more because of all the issues that there were in the beta and all of the feedback that was given. There was some systems that people didn't like, and there was a lot of people talking about how they didn't like the combat system, how the AI on the mobs were all the same going from start to finish, how there wasn't much variety in actual mob density and what type of mobs you're going to be fighting throughout the game. It was all pretty similar. Now I don't think they're actually going to be able to change anything about that, especially right now, the extra couple of weeks from like the 31st of August to the 28th of September. That's not going to be such a like massive amount of time that they'll be able to change anything massively significant. But if they cram in a lot of time, they will be able to make it cleaner. They will be able to make the servers more stable. They will be able to sort of help out with some of the animations, fix some of the bugs that were actually in the game itself. A lot of other companies just release the game and say, fuck it, here you go, have the game. And they're also going to have to deal with the fact that they're going to have to add new content because players are going to be smashing through the game at a record pace to get to max level. And then a lot of people will be there and they'll be like, we've got nothing to do. So then they'll have to split the team on fixing bugs and adding new content for those players that don't have any lives like myself, who like to know life and completely go ham at the beginning and launch of an MMO. And it actually ruins the game for most of us. It's like, for me, even for me, like I realized a long time ago that I'm screwing MMOs up for myself by just going full steam ahead and just getting to end game content and ruining the actual journey it takes to get there. Like I've always done that. I'm always going to continue to do that, and it's going to be an issue for me forever. Because even though I'm an old school MMO player, I've been playing MMO since Ultima Online, even I myself find myself being impatient when it comes to a game being released. When I found out there was a delay, I was a little bit pissed off, but then I do understand why they did it, and I think that we should actually be praising them for holding the game back rather than having to deal with the fact they're going to be trying to add new content whilst fixing bugs at the same time. Hopefully they can get most of these bugs and most of these sort of issues fixed, the server stability issues fixed before the game launches, and then they work on any bugs that come up before they work on new content. And hopefully they don't listen to the small percentage of players like me that rush to the end game and say there's fuck all there, because we're the minority of players. They should be continuing to just fix the game, make sure it's all sorted, and then add new content as it comes in smaller amounts. We don't need to have massive expansions and big updates every time they do it. Just add a new dungeon here and there, 1 month, 2 months down the line, add a new dungeon, add a raid boss, add a world boss a couple of months later, add any sort of mechanics they want to add, and add it in increments rather than big massive patches to draw people in, because that's the main reason why they do it. It's the same with any expansions. You look at World of Warcraft and how it dips before an actual expansion drops, and then they drop an expansion. The actual amount of small changes going through the release of, say, World of Warcraft, for example, they just add massive amounts of stuff and it draws people back into the game, rather than if they added like one small change over time, it will bring much less amount of players in. And it's an issue, again, the players' issues, it's not the developers' issues. The only thing I would say, and I would blame on the developers themselves, like in general for game developers, is the fact that they think that they are pleasing and making their game better by actually listening to the minorities, the vocal minorities of the players themselves, and not listening to the actual players that will be sticking with the game. If some dude wants to race through the game and get to level 60 straight away and then just start spamming the end content and then realizing that there's not really that much there, then let him wait. Fix the stuff for the guy who's going to be doing your casual stuff. The game will have a lot more players. The game will have a lot more people. Like, I am a hardcore player. I'm a hardcore MMO player, like self-proclaimed hardcore MMO player. And even I think it's stupid to cater to my style of play, because my style of play is not where the numbers are. We're a very small amount of people. The numbers are within the casual players. If you keep the casual players happy and you make sure the game is playable and everything's okay, the bugs are sorted, your game will survive. Why do you think World of Warcraft lasted so long? They didn't build it so much on the fact that they were going to be pushing towards the hardcore players, the mythic raiders and stuff, which are what they were doing recently, which then caused a massive upset because a lot of the casual players were just like, well, this is shit. They started losing players, and then obviously all that crap went on with the moves of like Asmongold, etc., to Final Fantasy 14 and other streamers and content creators. And then there was the fact that they had the whole issue with the massively controversial California state lawsuit that's going on, which obviously led to a massive, even bigger dip, and now people are boycotting the game. But it's been slowly dropping its player base because of how shit BFA was, how shit Shadowlands was. They were both really bad expansions, and they added mechanics that no one wanted, but they listened to a small group of people that were in the higher upper echelon of the gamers in World of Warcraft. They listened to them instead of the people that are actually playing and paying for the game, and it caused them for their downward spiral. Now there's going to be a future for World of Warcraft, maybe if they can get their shit together, but I don't see it happening anytime soon. Now with the fact that New World has actually delayed their release 1 extra month, this could be the signs of a good development team that actually knows what they want, knows what they're doing, and they actually want a quality game to release at launch, which is something we are direly missing within this genre and with games in general. Players are too happy to just buy a game and sit there through bugs. I mean, me for instance, yes, I love the Elder Scrolls games, but they are buggy piles of shit messes, and people actually sit there and they praise Bethesda for creating this absolutely shockingly shit, mechanically dog shit game just because it has a name behind it and it has decent storylines and all the side quests and stuff. The games themselves are actually shite from a development perspective, and we're just too happy to accept shit. So I'm glad that Amazon Games and the New World development team have decided to hold it back to try and make the game better for us. So let me know down below what you guys think about the delay. It will be releasing on the 28th of September, hopefully, unless they have a further delay. Maybe there's some issues that might come up between now and then. So yeah, let me know what you think down below. I want to thank you all for watching. Make sure to like and sub if you haven't already. Fly safe and avoid local chat scams.